friends, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I want to talk about all the books I want to read in the month of May. I'm only going to put 5 books in my TBR video because I don't want to overwhelm myself and my mood always changes. Take these videos with a grain of salt. I will try my best to read these books, but I'm not like holding them over my head because as soon as I finish one, sometimes I don't feel like reading the next one. It's totally fine. These videos for me are so fun to make. So for this TBR, I have a little bit of variety. I have a fiction book, I believe. I have a thriller. I also have a YA romance and I have an adult romance. So a little bit of everything, and I'm really excited because most of these are very summery and I'm in the mood to read a lot of summery books, mainly romance books. So last year I started the Summer I Turned Pretty series. I only read the first book and I didn't continue it. For some reason, I have no idea why I didn't continue the series. Okay, so I have the correct order this time. So I'm going to continue this series with It's Not Summer Without You and We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han. If you didn't know about this romance, this is a YA love triangle high school romance, and there is some depth to these books. I've heard the first book I enjoyed very much. I know that these books do have loss of a parent in there, so if that's triggering for you, just keep that in mind. I'm very excited to continue this series and finish this series. These books are so easy to get through. They got all the summer vibes and it has this cute little love triangle going on. The next book I want to read, and I had no idea that this was going to be so emotional. I just started reading the back of it, and this one's called A Brighter Flame by Nolfi. This is Once Upon a Book Club's Mother's Day edition. I had to get it. I totally had to get it. I believe this is a fiction. I have no idea what this book is about. I did start skimming through the back of it and I had no idea that it was going to be as emotional as it sounds. So I feel like this book is going to make me cry, but I do want to read it because it is the Mother's Day option from Once Upon a Book Club. Vale Lightner's dreams turn to ash when the Pittsburgh bar she owns goes up in flames. Just like the past she escaped, very little seems salvageable. Facing unavoidable change, Vale returns to her hometown of Philadelphia to stay with her grandmother. She knows that returning also means facing everything she left behind, a mother and a stepfather who shunted her into the background from the day they married, and her charmed and favored half-sister, Blythe, who has abandoned a perfect marriage and is now at a crossroads of her own. This is probably the worst time for me to film because the garbage truck is outside. Anyways, I'm so sorry about that. Moving on. Everyone has their secrets, and this reunited family racked by them is about to reach a crisis point. For a mother and her 2 daughters, this reunion is a chance for a closure, newfound love, and forgiveness. As each of them reassesses her own memories of the past, only the truth can bring them together in ways that could last forever. I feel like this book is going to be very emotional, but I am very excited to read it. So I can't wait to tell you my thoughts. The next book I want to read obviously is A Happy Place by Emily Henry, and I got Once Upon a Book Club's edition, which comes with great little bookish themed gifts, so I'm really excited. I anticipate that I'm going to give this book a 5-star. I just know it because Emily Henry can't do wrong with adult romances. I own all of her adult romance books and I have given them all 5 stars. I really enjoy her writing and I enjoy her storylines so much. They are such great beach reads and they're so perfect for summer. Look at this cover, by the way. Look how beautiful this cover is. Doesn't that scream summer to you? It's so beautiful. I can't wait to read it. If you guys didn't know what this book is about, it's about a group of friends who have been friends for years. Within their circle, they're dating each other. Every year, they go to this cute little cottage and have a vacation together and spend time together. Well, one of the couples is actually splitting up and they don't know how to tell their best friends that they're no longer together. Instead of telling them that they're no longer together, they decide to pretend like they're still together and basically fake date their way through their mini vacation that they have together. And obviously, you know that It's probably a second chance romance. They rekindle things and the story goes from there. So I'm really excited to read this. Again, I love all of Emily Henry's adult romances. They're just top notch for me. And the last book I want to read is our thriller, and this one is The Only Survivors by Megan Miranda. Look how beautiful this cover is. Like, look at it. Doesn't that scream summer vibes, but in a thrilling way? I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm very excited. The cover is beautiful, and let me just read you a little blurb about it. A decade ago, 2 vans filled with high school seniors on a school service trip crashed into a Tennessee ravine, a tragedy that claimed the lives of multiple classmates and teachers. The 9 students who managed to escape the river that night were irrevocably changed. A year later, after one of the survivors dies by suicide, on the anniversary of the crash, the rest of them make a pact to come together each year to commemorate that terrible night, to keep one another safe, to hold one another accountable, or both. Their annual meeting place, a house on the Outer Banks, has long been a refuge. But by the 10th anniversary, Cassidy Bent has worked to distance herself from the tragedy and from other survivors. She's changed her mobile number. She's blocked the others' email addresses. This year, she is determined to finally break ties once and for all. But on the day of the reunion, she receives a text with an obituary attached. Another survivor is gone. Now they are 7, and Cassidy finds herself hurtling back toward the group, wild with grief and suspicion. Almost immediately, something feels off this year. Cassidy is the first to notice when Amaya, the annual organizer, slips away overwhelmed. This wouldn't raise alarm except for the impending storm. Suddenly, they're facing the threat of closed roads and surging waters again. Then Amaya stops responding. And it says, 7 hours in the past, 7 days in the present, 7 survivors remaining. Who would you save? That was a very long synopsis. I'm sorry. But it explains it so well. So I'm very excited to read this. It looks like they're in a remote Outer Banks, this little beach town. And I believe it almost feels like a whodunit. So I'm very excited. I'm super excited to read this thriller. It's very atmospheric. It's perfect for summer for me, and I am the most annoying mood reader. I can't wait to get to this one. Okay, you guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you've read any of these books, let me know. Let me know what your thoughts are, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!